Hello, and welcome to Aftershock Online. Today, I'm very excited to have our guest, Jen Wehner, with me. And Jen is one of the top realtors in all of Arizona. She's a top 1% realtor. So many credentials. She's with eXp, and she's grown an incredible team over her 16-year career in real estate. And I'm excited to have her today to talk about how you've been so successful in the real estate world. Jen, welcome.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And this is our first time getting a chance to meet. So I've seen you on social media over the last couple of years, and you do such a great job of letting people know what you do, but also kind of keeping it social, which is amazing. So tell me a little bit, how did you get into real estate eventually, or in the beginning?
Well, I didn't know I was going to get into real estate. I was finishing up business school in Long Beach, California. I had a daughter. I started young. So my daughter was about 4 or 5. I knew I was going to go into business for myself just because I very much come from the mindset of the more I put into it, the more I want to get out of it, and owning my own business is really the route I wanted to go. So I had looked at either a salon or a tanning salon, had actually picked out a few spaces, started to develop the business plan, and my husband had a couple of business partners here that were flipping homes. We were living in Huntington Beach. We were leasing. We bought 2 homes on the same day, and both of our mortgages here in Arizona were less than what we were paying to lease a house in Huntington Beach, which, by the way, was not very impressive of a house, but Southern California is much more expensive to live. So yeah, I got my license, got to flipping homes, and really just jump-started my real estate career. Started out working with investors, as I was an investor myself.
That's awesome. So did you have a real estate background at all before that, or is it something you just jumped into?
It was something I jumped into, didn't know much about. I definitely would do things a little different than if I were to jump back today knowing what I know. But I jumped in, didn't know anything, just really took every class and got some education, and took people to lunch that I looked up to, and had a really great first year. But my first full year was 2004, which was a good time to be in real estate. So it was a lot easier to flip homes. It was a lot easier to find buyers and not as much sellers because it was low inventory at that time. But
yeah, so you mentioned that you took a lot of classes and you took people out to lunch that you admire or respected in the industry. Who were some of your early mentors, or what did they teach you in the beginning?
And that's where I would have done things differently. I didn't have the mentors like I have today. And it was really my broker. It would be the top producing agent in the office I was in, which quickly I became the top producing agent. So it really wasn't as much to learn. I didn't branch out and seek those mentors as much like I am today.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we had really things were just working. I saw what was working for other agents. I just really did duplicated, and yeah, had a great business up until the market crashed.
Right. Okay. So you got started. It sounds like it started quite fast for you. You had success right away. And when the market crashed, what did you do? How did you shift, and what was that like for that 1.5-year period of time?
Well, I can say it was very devastating because it wasn't just that real estate market slowed down, because that would be devastating enough, but we were heavily invested. We were building 10 homes and had the banks calling, write us a $1.2 million check for the home we built. We're like, wait a minute, we have a construction loan. They're like, nope, we're calling the loan due. These houses that we owed $1.2 million on eventually end up selling for in the 300s. This is during the worst market time. So we had apartment complexes, we had single family homes, and it was absolutely devastating to our family. So the great thing is now, as I got past that and I look back, I'm actually really grateful for that experience, because losing everything, personally, professionally, and getting through it, and really it's that grit that I see now that I have always had, but I really had to dig deep to find during these times, because when you don't know how you're going to put food on the table, when you don't know how you're going to pay your mortgage, If a deal falls through, you don't know how you're going to make your car payment. These are the kind of problems I had, and I was working 70 hours a week, so it wasn't like laziness got me here. But yeah, it was a tough time, but I learned a lot, and I learned a lot about myself, which was very inspiring, because now things that I go through and the challenges I go through, I can look back and see if I've gotten through that, which was like the Great Depression. I can get through so much.
So tell me, like, what did get you through that time? I mean, was there anything specific or support? I mean, what was it that helped you get through it?
Necessity.
Yeah.
I have kids. I had, at that point, I had 2 kids. I was pregnant with my third, and I was showing $25,000 houses, and I was negotiating short sales. I was doing REO, bank-owned homes. Anything I had to do. I can't really say I had a very clear business plan, but I knew I had to provide for my family. So really, it was just hard work. I think we really often disregard how much hard work is important in success, and grit, and being able to tolerate the stress level. And by stress level and grit, I was giving birth to my third child. The doctor's like, you have to push. I was saving a short sale, and I had my dad on the computer doing a BPO for a bank-owned listing I had. And I was like, you have to hold on 5 more minutes. I have to finish this short sale negotiation, and then I'll push. So, I mean, these are the kind of things that, it's like when I hear people and their complaints of why they can't accomplish their goals, I don't want to say I laugh, but I am like, no, that's not a good excuse. You have to come up with a much better one if it's going to work on me.
Right.
So.
Yeah, people don't realize how much time, energy, effort goes into investment, failure, loss, goes into someone, like yourself, that's had such an amazing career. So thanks for telling that story. That's amazing. But now we fast forward, and you've got an amazing team. I was told that you are the top 0.5% of realtors in all of Arizona, which is incredible. And you're in a role now to where you have a team and you mentor. What does mentorship on your side look like with your team? What are the types of things that you help them with?
Well, on my team, the way I look at it is leaders grow leaders. So I don't look at it from a top-down pyramid. I'm at the top, I'm the leader, and then everyone else is my minions working for me. I really pour into my people, my culture, my number one. We have core values as a team. My favorite core value is never stop learning and growing. And if you come on my team, if you don't embrace that core value, you are not going to be a fit. But truly the ones that rise up to the top, the leaders of my team, they're the ones that are always learning and growing. We're listening to podcasts. We're reading books. We are going, traveling to conferences and masterminds. We have mentors. I have what I call a board of directors. Those are the people that I truly look to for wise counsel. But yeah, I grow leaders. So I'm not going to mentor anybody. It's going to be somebody that really aligns with our core values, really has their team. They can work with the team. They have a positive team spirit. They work hard. They hustle. One of my top agents, who's been with me now for 5 years, she came to me with not as much self-esteem, but I've really grown her into the leader she's in today. Today she's doing extremely well. She's providing for her family, and she's like, I never thought I was capable of this until I just really followed your advice and listened to everything you had to say and actually executed it. And she still says this is one of the best decisions of my life was joining your team. So it's things like that inspire me, and that I really love to pour into people, the people that are willing to listen, work hard, and implement.
That's awesome. So people that are willing to do for themselves, it sounds like, and are excited and positive, and that fit your team culture. That's an amazing story. That's tremendous to watch somebody grow like that, and then to see the rewards, because it is tough when you've never had it to visualize it and then actually get it. So that's awesome that you're doing that. You said that you like books and podcasts. What are some of the books that you like on leadership, and what kind of podcasts do you listen to?
I really listen to all kinds. Tim Ferriss is one of my favorite. He's got a book called Tribe of Mentors. Tribe of Mentors, it's pretty much everything that kind of advice, all different leaders we have Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think, wrote the foreword for that.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, if you want to, wealth, health, fitness, business, everything's in there. And it's really cool. He's turned me on to so many awesome people that I've learned so much from. I was just listening to a podcast by Dr. Gabor Maté, and it's just like really just listening to all of these mentors has really changed, had a huge impact on my life. Besides that, I do listen to some real estate specific. Kristen Stampini, my real estate coach, has one that I'm also on, the Stamp of Approval. There's a few other ones, Real Estate Marketing Dude, but and then Aftershock Digital. That's a great podcast to listen to as well.
Thank you.
So, but yeah, those are a few of the podcasts that I listen to.
Awesome. What about books? Are there any like authors that you really like?
Yeah, that's a loaded topic. So, so Tim Ferriss, of course.
Yeah.
I like Dan Kennedy, Ninja Sales, for anybody, more real estate, but you could probably apply that. Traction is like our Bible as far as really like having a solid business. I don't look at my real estate career like this is a service. This is a business that we own, and you have to operate it like a business and not fly off the seat of my pants. That's what a lot of salespeople do,
Right,
because
yeah.
we're artists. So it's really grounded me. I have books all the time. One that I really, really love right now is Chop Wood, Carry Water.
Oh, cool.
It's a really quick, easy, fun read, but the life advice you get from that is something that really puts it into perspective.
I'll have to check that out. I had heard that phrase when I was listening to Phil Jackson's autobiography, and he, coach of the Bulls and the Lakers and all that stuff. But that's something that he told his players: chop wood, carry water. And he's very much the Zen master. So I'll have to check that out. And so, I mean, you're a big reader, and like, do you recommend books to people on your team, or where do you choose to take input? I should say, like when somebody, do you have mentors now that you ask for advice on what to be reading and those types of things?
Yeah, I have. I'm kind of a junkie when it comes to education, so I actually have to follow through and read all the books that I buy because I get real excited. But as far as like, did you ask about feedback? Like,
yeah. Who do you allow to kind of input into your life and to speak into your life now?
I welcome feedback. We have a rule in our team, like we have to be transparent with each other. The only way we're going to get better is to get feedback. So I want feedback from everybody on my team. Now, I'm going to have a filter. I'll truly listen and internalize what they're saying, but it doesn't mean I'm going to necessarily agree or change. But I will definitely, give it some heavy thought. As far as feedback from like critics, most of the time, that doesn't mean very much. But my mentors are really what I want the most feedback on. Yeah. So I have like a board of directors. These are the people. Some of them are just really successful business owners here. Some of them are people that I really looked up to because they just have a very balanced lifestyle. So for different reasons, there are reasons why that I go to them for wise advice.
Okay. That's amazing. I think it's important to have those people you can reach out to that have either been there, done that, and something in your life. And I know that I think we connected because I'd seen that you're on a fitness journey right now. Yeah. Talk a little bit about what you're doing there. That was a lot of fun. What are you doing with your fitness stuff right now?
Yeah, well, it kind of happened by accident. I had actually was not a Tim Ferriss fan until January this year. And I had gone into this year, I cut out alcohol last year, making very small changes in my diet and fitness. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in 2004, which really just changed my life and the way I had to live. And there have been times where I've been so sick, I could barely function, even though I had to, so I did, but was just devastating. Losing, I think I lost 30 pounds when I was first diagnosed, and I was so sick, I didn't even enjoy it, because who doesn't, it's like, great, I'm fitting into my skinny jeans, but I was so sick. But so during in January, I got turned on to Tim Ferriss, the 4-Hour Body. I started working out. I actually started with Pilates, just fell in love with Pilates. Now I do bar every day. It's like my new love, and realized what an impact it had. Since then, I've implemented diet, which I follow the slow carb diet through Tim Ferriss and the 4-Hour Body. and I also do intermittent fasting.
Okay.
And I realized that, and it wasn't on purpose, that I am now living pretty much symptom-free from having ulcerative colitis for the first time in 16 years. And it's affected my mindset. I am a better mom. I'm a better business owner. I am not as stressed or tense. I don't drink alcohol, so you have to get your stress out some way. And,
Right.
and real estate is, no matter how great of a business you run, it is very stressful at times. So it's been a game changer for everything in life. And, Richard Branson was mentoring some people, some young entrepreneurs on his island. And they were like, Richard, if you could only give us one piece of advice, what would it be? And he said, exercise. And it seems so simple, but it really is the foundation of everything. It's just, I start my every morning, and if I don't start my morning out by exercise, the day is just not as powerful.
Absolutely.
So,
It gives you that clarity. Totally, to start out your day, that focus. And you mentioned the 4-Hour Body. That was the book that 5 years ago changed everything for me. And that's, I started doing the same diet, the slow carb. And eventually I modified a little bit, but it was just so easy to follow. That's what I loved about it. I saw the results, and I didn't have to think about it, whether I was at a restaurant or my wife and I were meal prepping. It was just really easy to follow, and the results were amazing. So I'm glad that's worked out well for you, because that guy's amazing. I really have enjoyed his stuff as well.
Yeah, and even everything he does, it's not just about what it does for you, but he is like human behavior that he incorporates into it. I don't cook, so what I would do before every time I started a diet is just buy a bunch of like healthy food that would rot in my refrigerator 3 or 4 days later, and it would just be this cycle of, well, like I don't cook, so I shouldn't even try to cook. So I just buy a lot of it, what he said, buy the frozen fish, chicken, and vegetables, and that's what pretty much my lunch is every day. But, I have learned that since then I've been discovering so many people that have beat cancer, MS, so many different diseases just by changing their diet and exercise. So it's something that I want to personally bring more awareness to, which is why I started out my series Workout Wednesdays, which is showcasing gym owners all around the valley. Because also this fitness journey has been fun. Like we're, finding Pilates, being like, I didn't even know this existed. This is really fun. I look forward to going to the gym in the morning and then bar, and I'm like, I want to see what else is out there. I also want to give back to these gym owners because they're so passionate about their businesses and how they're able to help people, and I personally want to help them really just grow their businesses.
That's amazing, and you're right. It's an extremely tough business. My business partner, he used to own Pure Fitness out here, and that's how he got into the smaller studios, because they sold that a while back. And I watch what John and Laura, his partners, do on a daily basis, and they work extremely hard. They really care about their people, and a lot of these gyms do, and it's tough because they're all trying to get the same people in, and then it's one of the only things where I'm going to give you money and then I'm going to do all the work, and it's getting people to get the habit of fitness is very difficult. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and I really love these small community gyms because it's not just about the workout, which it is, but it's about that sense of belonging.
Yes.
An attachment. That's one of our basic human needs, is attaching to other people. And when you do that on every day, it's not just about showing up for yourself. It's like you're showing up for that camaraderie. Like you're doing this together and part of a journey together. So I love the smaller gyms, and I spend a little too much money because I have subscription, or I'm a member of numerous small gyms.
Yeah.
But it goes to a good place.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you found that, have you made friends and different things through your exercise and your morning?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I've met so many people that inspire me. One of at my Pilates gym, she's 70 something. She does not look like that. She looks like she's in her 50s, but she shows up every single day. In my bar class, I have a lady. She's quite older than what most of us are, and she's definitely like struggling, but she shows up every day. And I'm just like, so like, how awesome is that? So many of us, we have to find so many excuses, like, oh, I don't want to go because I don't know the gym very well, or that was really hard. She shows up every day and she's struggling, and but consistency.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that the gym owners, like, having these people as friends now, and just meeting more and more people and hearing so many awesome stories.
Yeah, it's cool to hear them tell their stories about the transformations of their members because, I mean, that's definitely what they do it for. So I didn't want to miss on this. And, going back to real estate, I mean, you've done a tremendous job over the last 16 years of working in every market, and it's changed a lot. So technology's changed a lot, digital marketing. How has digital marketing changed your business? What are the things that you do? And you said your husband does a lot of the stuff on the back end there to make sure that you guys are successful in today's world.
Well, there's a lot. So it's kind of loaded, but yeah, technology's changing. The real estate market is starting to go into shift mode, but our industry at the same time is shifting. So it's more important than ever before that you're leveling up. Systems and technology is super important and it's changing fast. So we do obviously have everything is online. Everything is all cloud-based. We don't, have filing cabinets with tons of paper files. But marketing social media is so important now. Like that, we even look at our social media channels like they're our CRMs, our customer databases. I can find out more about my clients on Instagram when they post a picture, they just had a baby, or their daughter just graduated from college, or these are the kind of things that just having them as an email and phone number in my database doesn't tell me. And we can do things like send them we have a team onesies. When they have a new baby, we like to give a little baby package, and if their daughter or son's graduating, little graduation gifts, just little touches that we're able to do, that we're able to monitor through social media. Systems, like there has to be a system for everything. If you rely on your brain is going to fail you, and the busier you get, it's going to even fail you even more. So everything we do, we have a system for it, and we're constantly improving those systems. So it's no autopilot, like, okay, it's done, it's great, everything's running perfect. No, every week we meet together, okay, how is this working? What's not working? What is working? What do we need to improve on?
Yeah, so on that, how do you go about changing systems? Because I do work a lot with realtors and loan officers, and I see all the systems and processes, and we help with a lot of that stuff too. But some of them will it's like popcorn. They jump from one thing to another. Like, when do you decide to make a change, and what are the things that you guys talk about before doing that? Because with a team as big as yours, that can be quite an undertaking.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of times they're not big changes. They're small tweaks. Okay, well, like for instance, we use Asana for project management. We have also just implemented some of the tasks that are in Asana into our CRM that as an action plan. So every time we have a project, say it's onboarding a new team member. All of the tasks were in Asana. We have loaded all those tasks into Boomtown, so everything's automatic. Everybody has their role. We use virtual assistants as well, so the virtual assistants know to create an email, order a business card, get their calendar set up. These are the kind of things that we can do. And we're also constantly leveraging. So when I said leaders grow leaders, I grow my leaders where they can start leveraging out. So a lot of times, every person on my team has a virtual assistant that they leverage tasks out to. So anything that's not in their highest and best use, that 80-20 rule, something that doesn't take a lot of like thought or creativity, they really need to be leveraged out to our virtual assistant teams that we have in both the Philippines and India, so they can remain in the role that they do best, which a lot of times it could be client facing, it could be working on the business with systems or a marketing campaign, things like that.
Yeah, that's so smart, because you're right. The 80-20 rule, if people apply it, I mean, you spend 80% of your time on the things that present all the results in your life. And it's amazing how many times you can do menial tasks that you can easily give to somebody else. How long have you been outsourcing? When did you start doing that?
Actually, I started doing that in 2014. So I did not really start building my team until 2014.
Okay.
I always had an assistant, but it was just me and assistant. That's it. And a lot of times this was just a virtual assistant that would just work for not just me, but other agents as well. 2014, I looked at my vision, and I'm not getting any younger. I want at some point to be able to leverage and enjoy life more. So if I go away for 2 or 3 weeks, the business doesn't crumble, or I'm not racing to try to take a phone call, and I'm not getting cell phone service, or stopping in a parking lot trying to find Wi-Fi, different hotel parking lots. I mean,
McDonald's.
you name it. It's like I could never go on vacation until it was leveraged. So a lot of that was just, I wanted my clients to be taken care of, but I knew my kids needed a mom, and my husband needs a wife, and I needed to be able to unplug for myself, because you work 7 days a week, you're going to burn yourself out, and then you're no good to your clients or your family. So I started to build the team that I have today. And sorry, I got off track with the question.
Oh, no, I was just saying, when you started, so you said 2014.
Okay, so I started with a virtual assistant. I locked myself in my office, and I made videos on how to do all these things, like setting up virtual tours, writing a property blog, entering the listing into the MLS, putting pictures in order, myriad of marketing activities that it was taking me 3 to 4 hours every listing I took to do these things. That wasn't in my highest and best use. So it was really all the work I put into the 8 hours I locked myself in the office freed me up. So now I had those, if I was onboarding, one listing a week, that's 4 hours a week I was saving of my own time. All I had to do is just spend the 10 minutes reviewing everything, making sure everything looks good. So, and then week after week after week after week, the compound effect of how many hours it saved me that freed me up to say, okay, where am I going to focus? Where are my best strengths? My best strengths were being on the phone and with clients, and not behind a computer writing a blog.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing, because you hear a lot of people say spend the time doing what you're best at and passing those tasks on. But it's not very often a lot of people will then do it. Okay, I'm going to write those tasks down. And what you did was amazing, because somebody recently I heard say, do now so you don't have to do later. And it was all about putting all the processes and spend the time now, so then you can give it to somebody else and you never have to do it again.
yeah.
So that's
And
awesome.
I can't say I was very interested in writing a property blog on every single listing I got,
No, some probably are not as interesting as beautiful place in Scottsdale, as opposed to maybe a very single family home or something like that.
Entertainer's delight. I mean, there's only so much you can really say about homes. Our write-ups are really important, but I actually found people that are more passionate about that than myself. So.
Right. So, you said you have a family of 4 kids, husband, you mentioned now you've kind of created a little bit of work-life balance. I mean, what does that look like today with you? Do you, anything exciting going on with the family you want to mention?
Well, my oldest daughter is getting married.
Ooh, congratulations.
So she's 21, she'll be 22. She's our graphic designer on our team. And I have 3, 8, and 11. And, I always get asked, no, it's the same husband. We're just that crazy that we've had kids for the last 20 plus years. But yeah, it's very, very busy. Our kids are in multiple activities and sports that require travel at times. My daughter's in a competitive soccer team. So to say that there's balance, no, there's never balance. It's always a balancing act. Sometimes I'm doing a little better at work than I am at home, sometimes a little better at home than I am at work. But just to be constantly aware of it is really where I've done. And when I'm home with my kids, I'm present. I'm putting my phone away. I've built up the team I have today that I don't have to worry about making sure all calls are answered 24 hours a day like I used to. So that leverage has provided me the time that I am able to have more balance in my life. I still work 60 hours a week, so it's not, I'm, on an island sipping margaritas all day. Right. I still work very hard, but when I'm working, I am working, and when I'm home, I am home.
So you're present.
Yes.
Was that easy all the time, or is something you've learned?
No, it's a challenge every single day. It's I would say taking my cell phone away was probably something I would relate to, like maybe somebody quitting like crystal meth. It is very hard. I have like an email addiction. I have an addiction to be plugged in. I have that, what am I missing? What if something happens? But as
So you're human is what you're telling me.
I'm a human, and I'm very passionate about my business, my clients, and
right.
I'm a people pleaser. I never want anyone to be unhappy. And so it was very hard for me to pull away. But as I started to grow the team, I have confidence in my team. They still have to put me in check. I took a cruise, and I went to go get on my email after I got on the Wi-Fi, and they actually changed the password to my email because they know what I was doing. And so they're like, you're done. You're actually going to enjoy this vacation.
That's great.
So, but I have an awesome team and a team that truly cares about me. And so, so that part of it makes me feel very confident that I'm able to do this for myself and my family.
That's amazing. Well, it's been so much fun getting to hear some of your story and sharing your success. And I wish you tremendous success in the future. Before we go, do you have any big asks for our audience?
Yeah, like a takeaway.
Yeah.
They say the sum total is the 5 people we spend the most time with, which is why I moved to eXp, is because of the model that eXp has built that has allowed me to align myself with the top producing agents in the nation. Agents that are where I want to be in life and professionally and personally. So I would say, look at your tribe. What does it look like? Do you need to scale up? Do you need to maybe, cut some people out more? And who do you need to add? Getting that board of directors, if you may. So that would be so important in terms of your mindset and knowing how important your mindset is and how you're feeding your brain. Like, what are you doing to grow every day? And having a very solid business plan. I take my business plan everywhere. We do business planning every quarter because if we have to pivot, it's a lot easier to pivot a ski boat than it is the Titanic.
Ship, yeah.
So the having a business plan and staying true to it. Don't do it once, in January 1st, and then you never look at it again until the following year. The business plan you should have should be something that you look at every single day. It goes with you in your folder. Maybe you're virtual and you have it on your iPad or your phone or your computer, but you're looking at it every single day and knowing what you need to focus on that day.
That's such a good tip. I mean, that's amazing. Was there what's a good resource that you learned to do some of the business planning?
My business plan is done on one page.
Okay.
We have an operations manual. We have things that have a lot more details in them, but my personal business plan is one page. We call it the 135. It's not something I came up with. It's something that I think another real estate brokerage came up with, but it's pretty much 3 strategies. So say your strategy is number 1, skills, number 2, growing your sphere, number 3, social media marketing campaign. And then you built up the 5 priorities to meet that strategy. So maybe for social media, it is adding in all of your friends, family, clients into your Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, putting them in the proper list, having a content plan every day. So we build that out, and we have to keep it simple, and you can't have too many priorities or strategies. So, and every day, having 2 critical things, no more than 2, that you're going to focus on every day, and it should be all of that should be working towards one of those strategies that's on your 135 business plan.
Wow, that's so valuable right there. I mean, I hope everybody listening does that, because I mean, it would take their life forward in massive capacity. So
absolutely,
this is great. Well, if any of you are looking to buy or sell a home, Jen and her team can take care of you. I've heard nothing but amazing things. Thanks again for being on today.
Thank you, Josh.
Well, this was awesome, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you here in a few weeks.